So most men think that flirting is about saying the right thing, saying the perfect line, saying the perfect opener in the perfect way. But with today's guests, we're going to discuss the fact that this is all completely wrong. And that you can sometimes say complete the wrong thing that lands in complete the perfect way just by how you carry yourself and how you're being. But there's also another side that a lot of us get trapped in when we think about confidence, which is that we need confidence to do the things we want to do, to be perfect. And then we end up in this kind of loop and trap of, I'll do X when I'm more confident, which actually really holds us back and never gets us to the point that we want inside of our dating life and our relationship, and helps us create the relationship we want. So today we have with us Benjamin. He's a man who has coached people from all over the world around flirting, how to flirt well, how to flirt authentically, which is one of the reasons why his content spoke to me so deeply. How are you doing today, Benjamin?
I'm doing pretty well, David. How are you? Thanks for having me on the show. And I'm excited to talk about flirting with everyone listening around the world today.
I'm doing very well today. Doing very well.
Good.
A bit toasty here, but London doesn't. It's not usually warm in London, but we do like to talk about our weather and complain about it.
Oh yeah, y'all been following. Y'all having that heat wave.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's still waving through after the weekend.
Got to find ways to stay cool because I've done a little bit of traveling over there, and here where I live in the States, everything is air conditioned, right? We would wilt and not make it for a second because it gets pretty hot too.
Yeah, it does. I wanted to start with a little about you, as I've seen you describe yourself as kind of the shy guy, someone who's more maybe introverted. So I wonder, what was the turning point for you around flirting? What really shifted for you that enabled you to become this more expressive, flirtatious man?
That's a great question to start out with. I've gotten it before, and I feel like I answer it differently every single time with how I'm feeling in the moment. So the answer that's coming to mind today is yes, definitely more on the shy side, more introverted side. And I feel like expressing myself and connecting with people has always been difficult. It's been a challenge where how you were kind of framing some of the flirt in the beginning was I've been wanting to say the right thing, to make the good first impression, to be seen a certain way, to be seen as likable, maybe intelligent, smart, capable, right? How do I want to present myself, but present myself specifically in the ways that I want other people to see me? And so then connection comes from this place of a little bit of performance, a little bit of not completely inauthentic, but a little bit of inauthenticity is there. You're very much in your head. You're thinking your way through it. You're trying to figure out, what am I going to say next? You're trying to analyze anything and everything someone else is saying or doing, maybe with their body language, with their eyes. And it was just something that felt very uncomfortable, right? Gave me a lot of anxiety, something that gave me a lot of nervousness, just connection in general, let alone flirting if you're looking to go on a date with someone or express attraction to someone. But it was always something that made me feel better. Like I got something from it, even if it was just offering someone a smile or a small conversation, like the small talk kind of situation. Maybe it was a flirt. It was those experiences that always just uplifted me. They made me feel better. They brightened my mood a little bit. So it was like, it became, well, I really like doing this thing. I can't stop. It seems to come naturally to me. I get so much from it, but why is it so hard? And so the turning point happened, I don't know when. I mean, I've been creating content and doing my podcast for a little while now, for a few years, but I suppose the turning point came for me a few years ago when I quit my office job and left my 9-to-5 and just took a huge risk, really bet on myself for the first time in a long time, or maybe ever, and just wanted to start, and not start a new life, but start a new chapter, a new path, try something new. And what was that going to be? What was that going to look like? And it became flirting. And that's why we're here today. Yeah.
It was quite a journey, quite a shift in career.
Yeah.
You described there, they've been hard. This is something that a lot of people say, flirting is hard. It's confusing. Like, what do I do? How am I meant to flirt? What what makes it so hard?
I think, the nerves, the anxiety that come up when you're flirting, some of the fears really around rejection. That what if this person doesn't like me? What if they think I'm weird or awkward or strange? Or what if I say something that turns them off or makes them kind of like react a way that doesn't feel good? It could be based on past experiences where maybe you were explicitly told that, wow, you're not good at this, or you were led to believe based on the way someone reacts that you somehow don't have this skill, that you're not good at it or you can't do it. So those are some of the bigger reasons why I think it's hard, or biggest reasons. Also, when you're flirting with the hot one or the person that you find attractive, that trips everybody up. Everywhere, for sure. You may be a great flirt in any other situation, and then someone that you find attractive, all of a sudden you're like, how does this work? What do I say and do? But I think still everyone has the skill, the ability, maybe the talent to flirt, because it really is, as I talk about it, it's just the practice of connection is at its most simple form. That is what it is about. And everybody can do that. Even if you felt like you've been bad at it, you've been told you're bad at it, we're going to change your mind today.
There's a lot in there that's about the reaction that we want to get, isn't there? There's there's a part of us often I see where we're flirting or any level of dating is we only can look at ourselves well if we get the reaction that we want to get, or we can only see ourselves successful if we get the reaction that we feel we need. Because there's also that part there, as you say, like we pin so much on it. If I flirt with this hot woman in front of me, if she likes me, then that means that I'm likable, I'm lovable, I'm good enough.
Yeah.
Is that something you see a lot for people? And like, is there anything else you see us kind of hook on in terms of meaning when it comes to kind of flirting and getting the reaction that we want?
Yeah, what you're talking about is really interesting to me, because I think it speaks to internal and external validation, which both have their purpose, both are good. Like, I think external validation kind of gets like as if there's something wrong with that, but there's not, because like the example you were just talking about is we learn a lot about ourselves through how people react and how people respond to us. It could be as simple as maybe you're a kid, you're in school and you're doing something, and from a teacher, maybe a classmate, someone's like, great job, right? You did like excellent, like gold star, whatever. And you learn something about yourself like, oh, I liked this, and oh, wait, I am really good at this. Maybe I should pursue that more. Or there's something there to kind of think about or explore. And so if you're getting a reaction from somebody else that's positive or is affirming or is encouraging, it's a great signal for you, that external validation, like, oh, I did it right, or I did it well, or I did it good, or whatever. But we can't rely on that 100% of the time. We've also got to be able to find that validation internally as well. And that's why I bring elements of the flirt that are about curiosity, about making observations, which are really about focusing on connection, about just really wanting to explore and establish a connection, knowing it goes two ways, right? The other person, whoever you're flirting with, has to be available and able and wanting to explore that connection with you. So knowing that if someone doesn't react a certain way, right, they don't necessarily maybe flirt back, it doesn't mean you're a bad flirt or you said the wrong thing. Sometimes maybe you did. You said something offensive, or like you went from 0 to 100 and like you're just going up to a stranger and immediately giving some like a physical compliment, and this person's like, what? I don't even know you. I didn't even know you were here, right? So like, I don't want to make people feel like they said the wrong thing, but it's important to know that someone else, they're having their own experience as well. And it's just something that's important to keep in mind. And then the other thing that I feel like you were talking about was like, where does self-esteem and self-confidence and self-worth play into all of this if all of that is hinging on what someone else says and does. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
tricky.
Yeah, yeah, and that's
Yeah,
it's a big one because it's kind of tied to the external validation. If we've kind of grown up
sure.
always seeking our validation externally, we just
Hmm.
take that into kind of dating, flirting, and
Hmm.
we do exactly the same thing. And for some people, I know from personal experience, for some people it works really well. They learn the rules really quickly, and they're like, oh,
Hmm.
I get validation if I'm complimented in a particular way, or I say these
Hmm.
things, I laugh and joke, which also kind of can create this, and I definitely know I suffered from this many years ago, was you learn this kind of flirtatious persona that gets results, but isn't quite
Sure.
actually who you are underneath.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, because it feels good. If you're getting the attention back, you're getting flirted with back, maybe it leads to dates or even relationships. Like it feels, of course, it feels great because it's connection and that feels amazing. And there's so much. I was listening to some episodes of your podcast and some of the experts and researchers and doctors you had on, like they speak to this. Like there's so much research out there about how connection is, I mean, it's so important for our health, right? If you're looking at longevity studies or studies about well-being, anything about health indicators and what makes people healthy, it's their relationships. That's always it's always at the top.
Yeah, it's always the most important thing that
Yeah,
we're looking for as human beings, right? Because
of
I
course.
say this a lot to my clients, especially when they're like, oh, I'm not good at connection. I'm like, human
Mm.
beings, we're wired for connection. It's
Yeah,
like, it's like
yeah,
it's been there for as long as humans have been around. As part of us
yes,
is like we're built to connect. We're built to
yes.
play, have fun, tell
Mm-hmm.
stories, hear
Mm-hmm.
stories,
Mm-hmm.
attune to each other. It's like it's built into who we are. Some of us, maybe some
Yeah,
of the wiring we got a little tangled up at some point in our lives, but
sure.
our bodies, our minds want to are urging us to kind of move back into connection
Oh
as
yeah.
almost as often
Doesn't
as
matter,
possible.
introvert, extrovert, extroverted, introvert, introverted, extro, whatever your Myers-Briggs, your personality type, your astrology, right? None of it, I mean, all of it matters, but none of it means that you're good or bad at connection. Everyone is, it's a part of our biology. It's a part of what we're here to do.
Mm. I want to jump into this question. I'm super interested in what your take on this is.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see as like the most common mistake that men make when it comes to flirting, and they continue to
Mm.
make often? Like, what is it, and why do you think they keep making that mistake?
I feel like it is, it is something around sexualization and objectification and flirting with women, and you're only going to flirt with the woman that you think is hot or that you find physically attractive, probably in your mind jumping to the point of, oh, I want to sleep with this person, or I want to explore some type of physical interaction with this
Mm.
person. Like you're already probably developing a little bit of a fantasy up there, and so this other person, they don't get to be who they are. They only get to be who they are in your mind, which is someone that you want to maybe sleep with. And there is so much that has to happen before that. Most importantly, does this other person even want to do that? Are they available to do that? Are they single? Like there's so many things that have to happen before that would be a reality. But so many guys, they start the flirt with that end goal already in mind, or something they already have that established want in their mind. And so then the flirt happens with, like, that's the path they're on. The flirt is happening to pursue that. And anything other than that is a failure, or I was bad at it, or I did something wrong, or what's wrong with me, right? This happens all the time, or this happened last time. Like it just, something can like it just, your mind starts playing all these games. But if are you flirting from this place of wanting to make a connection, of wanting to explore who someone could be, like what you could talk about, what you have in common, maybe some similar interests, or just talking about like what you did earlier that day, what you had for breakfast, or what's going on in your life, or just making an observation, like where are you at? Where are you meeting? Out in public somewhere, coffee shop, you're riding the bus, the train, you're out walking, like what's happening around you? Is there a similar experience? Like maybe are you at a concert and so you could connect on that? Are you watching a show or something and can have some conversation? And so establishing some type of connection based on how two people can relate to one another is really important first, and then see what happens from there. Maybe nothing. Maybe it's just an in the moment conversation connection, and that's all it is. Maybe it leads to exchanging numbers or social media. Maybe it leads to a date, or maybe you really hit it off. Two people are super into one another and it does lead to a hookup later that day or that night. Like, it's possible. It happens depending on where you're meeting and how you're both feeling. But you got to let the other person be who they're going to be and show up how they're going to show up with however they're feeling in the moment and feeling that day. It's not right to, or I have a problem with coming into the flirt with this explicit kind of goal or result in mind. You have attached the expectation to the flirt, attached an expectation to the other person, and then they only can be or do this one thing or say these, specific things, and if they don't, then it was bad, or it was like whatever you're thinking, right? Like, yeah, that's one of the big mistakes I see.
Yeah. And I love how you described it. I'm going to use my language is how I heard it. Was like men go from like 0 to 100 in their head. So they like meet a woman, or they see a woman and they're like, oh, she is attractive, equals I want to have sex with her, or equals I'm having sexual thoughts. And then it's almost like the fantasy starts to germinate in their mind. And then all they can see is this woman in front of them. And they have this, they might be in front of them, might be on Instagram, they might be on social media, might be on the dating apps. And all they can think of is the sexualization that's happening in their minds. So when they go to speak, that's all that's there. That's all that's like I can't remember how many bits it is that our mind can like compute at any given moment. But that's all we have. All they have is like, hot woman.
Yeah.
I want to do stuff to her. Let me say what I want to do, because that's going to be the perfect thing to say right now to this woman who I've just matched with on Hinge, because that's exactly what's going to get me what I want, which seems to be, I can see the logic in that thinking. I can understand the logic. It's completely fucking flawed, but I can understand the logic. And then there's also the tunnel vision, which is not danger. It is dangerous, but it is also so harmful to the man in so many ways. Because I go back to when I was dating and flirting a lot, is that you become so attached, like you said, you become very attached to the outcome. It's funny, as I'm saying that, I'm thinking of like meditation retreats that I've been to, where they're like, you have to be equanimous, be balanced with things. Don't be so hooked into it. You can be intentional, but like you have to allow for what could else happen. And that's also it, isn't it? Is that in those moments, the men are like so focused on getting a number, getting the hookup, that they completely miss out on all the wonderful threads that are kind of flailing in the wind, which could be beautiful, or more nourishing to them and this woman in front of them. Because what they've really done is they've turned her into just a sexual object, which is I always find so sad on so many accounts. Like, one of them is that, what it does to women, and we see what it does to women in the world, which is horrendous, right? But also to the man, because it also means that he becomes even more devoid of a connection, more unattuned to another person's emotional kind of experience and moment. And they lose out on this, what could be something magical, but just in a way that isn't exactly the one thing that their mind has in it currently.
Yeah, those are all really, really good points. And it's okay to if you want to flirt with someone, a woman, and you find her attractive, you think she's hot. Like, this is, we all do. We all see people just out and about in our everyday lives, running errands, doing whatever on social media, on TV. Like, oh my God, that person, they look good, right? That's fine to think like someone is attractive, but it is coming into it, yes, with like this tunnel vision, and then you really go from 0 to 100. Think about all the things you may say and do. All of a sudden, you're standing really close to to her, and you start going to physical touch, and you're touching like her shoulder or her back or her arm or something like that, and you're leaning in, and your eyes are lingering, and you're going really heavy on the physical compliments, like reverse the script, and that would probably make you uncomfortable. It's a lot very fast, especially if someone is not wanting to receive that kind of attention back, or wanting to receive that kind of attention in the first place, I should say.
Yeah. I always feel like men flirt often in the way that they'd like to be flirted with, like very quick, very direct, so that we get straight to the point. Like we can kind of get to this binary decision of like, is it on or is it not on? So that I can go and be efficient with my time elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's true, which is like a thought I have sometimes is if it's really just about sex or hooking up, whatever that is going to be, whatever that looks like, then you could just pay for it, right? You could just hire sex work is a real thing. It's a profession. You could hire somebody, and then there's no flirting. There's really no conversation or connection. Perhaps it's just 0 to 100. It's right to the point. You've got a time, you've got a place. Here's what's on the table. Let's go. But that's not just what it's about. It's about the chase. It's about the validation. It's about the being seen. It's about being able to take the lead a little bit. It's about being able to feel like a man.
Yeah. It's like playing with the energy, the tension of the moment, even the unknown. Like, oh, I've said this, I've said that. Is this going somewhere? It feels like it might be going somewhere a little bit. There's like a kind of fun in play in that. And I guess what I come to, and again, with the men that I speak to, is they feel really uncomfortable in that unknown, that playful energy of the unknown, of not knowing exactly where it's going to go.
Sure.
For them, there's just anxiety that exists in that space. And also when we don't feel the kind of capability of directing the energy, like going, okay, I see that we're slightly distant here. There's a connection. It's like distant. And I feel like I have the capability to lead this into something else.
Yeah.
You can feel a level of confidence, I guess, in that. I'm speaking personally, but when you feel there's just this mass of unknown void of danger and threat, right, to your kind of ego, it can just feel like all that's there is potential for rejection and anxiety.
Yeah, which is it's never fun. like no one wants that to be an outcome. Usually, probably. And the unknown, not knowing what's going to happen, right? You're in that gray area. Sure, that's going to cause some anxiety, like no matter what the situation. Like could be like you're traveling and there's like delays, or like, I don't know, you're taking a test or something like that. And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know the answer to some of these questions, right? There's some unknown. How am I going to do? I don't know. So it's, the unknown, it's a little bit scary, but it's supposed to be. And so how are you gonna navigate that?
Yeah. And another question that comes to me is, what do you see as women? What are the kind of common mistakes women make when it comes to flirting? Because often we think of men in flirting as the kind of quote unquote leaders of interactions. But women have a slightly different, not always, it's not always this way, people. We kind of stereotype. There's a slightly different role that women play in the kind of game of flirting. What do you see as the mistakes that they make?
I think one is, I hear from women that I work with and just on lives and podcasts, just different settings, that they do want to be approached. They don't necessarily want to make the first move or do the approaching, but then again, they don't want to be approached or flirted with by anybody. They want to be flirted with and approached by the guy that they find attractive or that has caught their eye in some way, seems interesting. Maybe there's something different or cool about his style. It could be tattoos, what he's wearing, his hair, something like that. But there's something, or it could be, they're seeing him in a situation, a setting where he's speaking, or he seems like really confident, very self-assured, very just like he's you know, like he's standing on 2 feet very firmly, and like he's got that kind of aura about him. And so there could be a few different things that are catching her eye, but then how can she make herself available to a flirt, to a moment of connection with that specific person? If she's not going up and making the first move, which she can do. You can go up and say hello, something, right? Get it started, and then just make yourself available in that way. So that's one of the mistakes I feel like I see is being in this kind of waiting for when mentality, but then also not really indicating that you're open or available or wanting a flirt. Right. So you're kind of looking down or you're looking away. Maybe you have headphones in, you're sort of playing hard to get, where this other person, they don't like if we're talking about a guy, he may not know that you're interested in him, or there might be some competition. There might be other women that are interested in this guy as well. So that could be part of it. So I feel like it's this waiting for when kind of mentality, and then playing that back later or in the group chat or with friends, feeling like, oh, I missed my opportunity. Why didn't I say anything? Like, I'm never going to see this guy again, right? Misconnection. And then you start to feel maybe bad or guilty or just embarrassed. Like, why didn't I say something, or why didn't I go up and just introduce myself? So a mistake, but something that definitely happens.
Yeah. The mistakes, learnings,
Yes,
to be very much the same thing. This is something I was, when I look back when I was very active in dating and talking to women, I think the thing that always dawned on me, and it took me a long while to realize this, and it really changed how I did like talking to women, approaching women, was that I used to assume that when I approached a woman and she kind of was very non-communicative, that was like she didn't want to speak to me. So I was just like, okay, she doesn't want to speak to me, right? And it was until one day something shifted for me where I was talking to somebody, and for some reason we kept talking. She never told me to leave, but we kept talking. And after about 3 or 4 minutes, like the conversation really switched and she really warmed up, and we had a really lovely interaction. I think went on for like half an hour, 45 minutes. And a friend of mine was in the bar, he was somewhere else, and he said, did you notice what happened there? I was like, yeah, she went from being quite cold to like being really warm. And he said, what do you think that was? And I was like, I don't know, I'm not sure. And then we had a conversation with a female friend of ours really closely after that, maybe that night, maybe the next day. And she was like, to us, she was shocked. She's shocked. She's not expecting a man to come over and speak to her in that moment. So when you do, even if she's interested, she's kind of in this state of shock, but she also could be feeling a little bit nervous, a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit not sure about herself, all these things. And just by staying there and having a conversation and kind of warming up and creating the connection, you shift the kind of whole energy of it. And I remember that really opening up my eyes and being like, oh, wow. So I remember being younger and thinking like, well, all attractive women are really confident, right? So, it just must be that they don't want to talk to me if I come over. And it kind of opened my eyes to this like, oh, wait a minute. Attractive women aren't all confident, because that's just my projection. And also women are, can be surprised when someone comes to talk to them, in the same way that it's happened to me in my life, where a woman's come to speak to me in a bar, which is, so rare that when it does happen, I probably do look a bit like a deer in the headlights. I'm like,
what's happening? What's going on?
Exactly. And just like giving people that benefit of the doubt that you've just done something that, caught them off guard a little bit,
Yeah. Huh. That's I love that example. Do you remember how you initiated it, or what you said, how you got the flirt going?
Yes, I do. I remember the bar as well it was in. It was a place in central London in Piccadilly. I don't know what it's called now. It's one of those clubs that's changed name about 50 times. And my thing, back in these days was like, I just talk about something, say what you see. That's one of my big flirting sayings. Say what you see. Okay. So I remember walking by and kind of stopping and saying something about the decor in the room.
Yes.
And she kind of looked at me really blankly, like, what the fuck is this guy telling me about the coving in this room? Like, this is ridiculous. And I just kept speaking. And and then got into very normal conversation um back then. But yeah, that was very much my thing then. Is like, just say what you see. What do I see? What's around me? What are people doing? Like, that's like, let's
There you
talk about what we
go.
can see.
Yeah, there's a great flirting strategy. It's the observation tactic. It's just what is happening around you. What can you see? What are you observing? And I think it works so well. It certainly can work so well is because immediately you both have something in common. You both can observe the same thing and then have a similar experience, maybe a different experience, a different point of view, a perspective, depending on how you see life or what your upbringing has been like, what your just lived experiences have been like. And then something else you said is, initially you were thinking like, oh, wait, does she not like me? Or like, what, does she not want me to talk to her? Like, what's going on? But I feel like that's a common experience. Like if you're meeting someone for the first time, right? Someone you don't know is coming up and starting a conversation with you. I think it's a natural reaction, and certainly I hear this from women, is to be a little bit on guard, a little bit, what does this person want? Like, excuse me, they might be thinking in their mind, yet trying to figure out what does this person want? Because they probably had that experience a lot. But if you make it about connection, start with some conversation, allow them to respond and engage back, well, then just give it a couple minutes. Like it does not take long. And oftentimes you'll be surprised about what can happen and what you talk about and what you find that you have in common and where the conversation goes.
Yeah. Do you feel that to become kind of, to have mastery in the area of flirting, the one has to have quite a quick mind, because with the say what you see, with the observation, it's like I could say, so Benjamin, there's a lovely softbox here in front of me. And that might not sound particularly interesting, but if I said, oh, there's a softbox in front of me and it has this kind of mesh thing over, and it kind of reminds me of a cheese grater, and it kind of reminds me of, like my great grandma used to have this cheese grater and tell some weird and wonderful story. It's like, I can say what I see and it'd be very literal about the world.
Yes.
And then there's a kind of bolt on there as well.
Yeah. I mean, if that were like a kind of conversation or flirt you were receiving, right? If you are maybe unsure what to say, you could just focus on the thing, the softbox, and like, oh, tell me more about that. Or, oh, what does that do? Or, oh, well, how long have you had that? Why do you have that? Just asking some type of very direct follow-up question. Or you started talking about, I heard cheese and cheese grater, which made me think of pizza. So maybe you start talking about pizza. And I also heard grandma. Maybe you start talking about family a little bit, or you can share an experience that you've had with your grandma or a relative that was really fun or enjoyable or made you feel good. And so then you can start to relate and connect on some shared experiences. Maybe you find some things that you have in common there. But to your question, this is one of the myths of flirting. I really try and dispel or help people work through, is that you have to be just very quick-witted. You have to have charisma. You got to have the humor. You have to be really funny. You got to have like some crazy high intelligence, just be able to think really quickly and think on your feet. I would say, I mean, that can be a skill you develop, or maybe a skill that comes a little more naturally, like some of those things. But first and foremost, it's about connection and relating and making those observations and being able to be even a little bit vulnerable and going into some storytelling and talking about yourself and your experiences. It's being able to be curious and ask questions and actually listen to what the person is saying versus trying to hear what you want to hear, or you're already thinking about the next question, or kind of reviewing what you just said. Like, oh, did I say something like weird, or like, did I look weird? Why did I just do that thing with my hand or my arm or whatever? Like you made a weird like noise or laugh or something. And so many of the skills are really about what you're talking about earlier and being in the moment, right? Like I think that is way more important than feeling like you have to be the funniest, the quickest, the wittiest. All of that can come. You can build on the flirt, and I think those are all skills that you can develop. even if you feel like they come naturally to you or not. Those are just skills.
Yeah. And you said it really beautifully there, that the presence, like being actually there in the room, being outside of our cluttered minds of self-centeredness that probably comes up, is like, oh, what do they think of me? I'm doing something wrong,
Sure.
which is kind of self-centered, you know. And then there's the
Yeah.
kind of other-centered, which is having all our attention on, did they like that? Did they want me to, did they, where we're kind of anxious about their responses and their little reactions. There's
Yeah.
this middle place that I feel that's really potent, what you're kind of speaking to, which is like, we're both with our experience, noticing their experience, but also with the wider experience that's occurring in the moment that we're kind of in and holding together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like one of my taglines is about, it's getting out of your head and into your heart, getting out of your head and into the flirt. It's about feeling your way through these moments more so than thinking, analyzing your way through these moments, and making the flirt and connection more of this heart-centered present moment practice rather than something that happens very much in the head, very much from this place of probably overthinking, overanalyzing, perfectionism, expectation, anxiety, and all the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that can come with that, guilt, embarrassment, loneliness, rejection, fear. Yeah. All of those things are it's just gonna make the flirt harder. I know it has for me for a long time.
I hear you kind of speaking to like emotional attunement there. Like flirting is that what you're getting to there? Like flirting isn't about, as you said, the myths of saying the right thing or being charismatic or having quick wits, but actually it's a practice of emotional attunement with another human being.
Definitely. Also, I mean, on the side, well, not really on the side, but in addition to flirt coaching, I'm also a yoga teacher. And so that has greatly influenced my flirt philosophy and my coaching style and just how I approach all of this. I mean, beyond flirting with someone for the purposes of like exploring dating or exploring a relationship, you can also flirt with yourself. You can flirt with life. You can flirt with everything around you. And one of the mindset shifts that happens in the flirt that I really try and help people with is about seeing the opportunities and seeing the possibilities in things. The flirt is a very open-ended practice, a very open-ended experience, versus being very closed is when you come into it with this specific outcome, result, or expectation in mind, right? I'm only going to flirt with this one person because I think they're hot. Why else would you flirt with someone if I don't think someone is hot? I don't want to lead them on. So I'm only going to flirt with this person because I want X, Y, and Z to happen. Well, then it's a very closed-ended experience, and it can only you're boxed in. Like, I'm already feeling a little claustrophobic just explaining it this way or talking about it this way, versus coming into it with more openness. Like, the flirt becomes very expansive. There's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of opportunities. Anything could happen, and you can explore that same mentality or adapt that same mentality into other aspects of your life, for sure. Your other relationships, friends, coworkers, families, just how you just live your everyday life. Something as simple as like making a cup of coffee or making dinner or running errands. I've been seeing a lot of takes on social media about this very thing, about flirting with your life. And I love it. I wish people would do it more.
Yeah. As you were describing the kind of narrow flirt with attachment, I could just feel like being in a small tunnel, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a small tunnel and there's only one direction to go. It's claustrophobic. Yeah. I feel a bit trapped, as you kind of described. Yeah. The other person feels a bit trapped. They don't really have anywhere to go inside of that. And then I thought of kind of expansive flirting, as you described, where there's no place you're trying to get to. There's just an exploration. I feel myself like standing on a mountaintop, right? Looking out. There's so much possibility. There's so much openness and expansiveness that you feel uplifted. You feel, there's a possibility for connection. And the thing you said there about flirting with life, it's like, I studied Tantra for a number of years, and it's very tantric, isn't it? To like just be with the beauty of life of the
Mm-hmm.
moment, of what's occurring, whether it is flirting with the mug that's with you, is the mug that's
Mm-hmm.
in front of you. Instead of just picking it up, you could just give a little stroke on the side. Imagine it is someone that you
Yeah.
get to flirt with. And
Yeah.
it's just a revolutionary way to look at flirting, especially if you're used to flirting purely for an intention to get something.
Sure. Yeah, and one of the objections I often hear is related to that. Well, why would I flirt in any other way? Like, why wouldn't I flirt in this very kind of the closed tunnel way? Like, I don't want to waste my time. What's the point? Or I don't want to lead someone on. Why would I flirt with someone that I'm not attracted to, or that I don't want to, take on a date or something like that? Well, you could explore flirting with the intention not being solely to exchange numbers and take someone out, and like maybe you end up dating and have a relationship. Flirting is so much more than just, I think this person is hot, I'm going to go talk with this person, and I'm going to sleep with this person or take this person on a date, ask for their number. Like, that is one way the flirt could go. It could evolve into that if the other person is on board and wanting to do those things with you too. But then it's also so much more. And I don't think connection is ever a waste of time, because it's going to make you feel better. Oftentimes, I think, like, smiling is one of the greatest antidepressants in the whole world, and it's free. It's readily available. You can smile anytime. You're probably going to learn something about yourself. In a lot of these conversations and flirts, I've learned about things happening in my town or my city, or different things happening just around me that I had no idea. Like, I've learned about locally a llama farm. I've learned about a rescue pig sanctuary. Like, all these things, I didn't know they existed, but I found them out through flirting and connection and conversation. You're going to learn things about yourself, like what's coming up for you. Is there some anxiety? Is there some type of thought you're having about yourself that is like not super uplifting or super positive? And so it can really help you learn more about yourself. Learn more about yourself as well.
It's like flirting isn't just to get dates, get numbers, and get sex, for example.
No, it's a whole philosophy. It's a whole way of life.
Yeah, way of life, but
Yeah.
not just to get it. It's to create friends and friendships, to learn about your community connection, but also the last bit you said there is like, it's kind of deep personal work. You get to
Very
see
much.
yourself in the moments where there's uncertainty, where the rejection is a possibility. How do you respond? How do you react? Where does that come from? Like, how was that related to, how long's that been around? Instead of brushing it off, I think a lot of people I speak to, they brush it off as like, oh, well, everybody would do that. It was like, oh no, but actually, like, why do you do that? Why do you shrink in the moment where, you have to kind of lean forward? Why is it that you assume rejection is going to happen? Like, this becomes like kind of our deepest personal work.
Yeah, and those experiences are difficult, and they can linger for hours, days, weeks. Maybe you've had these thoughts about yourself for a long time, what maybe feels like forever. But that's part of why I feel like we're here, right? Is to help people work through these things. And something else that I want to mention is, like, the word that's coming up now is loneliness. And so many people, certainly a lot of men, are experiencing this. It's across the board. I think loneliness is touching people in so many different ways. But we're talking to the fellas, and so it's very real for them, and it's been real for me too. And I've long struggled with my mental health, a lot of anxiety, and specifically depression, which has made it very, like, it's even harder to, connect, flirt, please, like, even leave my house for just for weeks at a time. But when I was able to have these moments of connection, it becomes very affirming, right? Very, very validating, very connective. And it's those experiences which help us to feel less lonely, or feel less alone, or like we're going through something that we're the only person in the world that's going through this, or somehow we have it worse than anybody that's ever had it. And I know all that is very real, so I don't want to like dismiss or discount what people are listening may be feeling. But I hope they are getting some good information, some good takeaways from this conversation, and some uh, encouragement, some hope around flirting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it is like you said, it's hard. It's hard, and there's a connection there. Like loneliness is so real for so many
Oh,
of
yeah.
us, and often we talk about male loneliness, and I've looked into this a few times. Like for women, loneliness is only slightly less lonely, right? It affects them in slightly different ways, just
Yes.
because of social. When the statistics, and when you ask people about
Yeah.
loneliness, and it's actually really interesting when you ask what loneliness is. It's the gap between the connection we have and the connection we expect we should have.
Yeah, that's a great definition I don't think I've heard before. And I describe loneliness as the absence of connection.
Yeah.
In some form. Maybe with yourself, with others, different relationships you feel like are missing or that you don't have in your life. Maybe that you did once have. There could be kind of this loss or longing for what could have been. Maybe an ex, a past friendship. Yeah. So a lot of us bring, definitely along with the expectation, there is sometimes some grief and loss attached to that expectation of, well, I don't want to feel that again, which I understand. Yeah, it's not fun.
No.
Mm-mm.
I want to ask one more question.
Sure.
Bit of quick fire, kind of your 3 top flirting tips for people who feel like they don't know what to do. They don't know how to flirt.
Okay.
What do you say to these
I'm
people?
going to focus on the pre first tip. I don't know, is leave your house or leave your apartment.
Yes.
Leave wherever you're living. We're gonna focus on the in person interactions and flirts. I feel like you could probably, or maybe you're really good at flirting online on the apps on social media. You've got that down. If you don't, maybe we could do a part 2. I don't know, but we're going to focus on in person. So you got to leave your house or wherever you're living. So the first tip is you got to, you don't have to look a certain way, but you got to run a comb through your hair, right? Brush your teeth, put on a shirt. If you need to press it or iron it, steam it, do that. Present yourself in a way where you feel good, because when you are feeling better or you're feeling better about yourself and you're presenting some level of confidence, even if you got to fake it, be a little delulu to get through it, all good. Just, put your shoulders back, put a smile on your face, make eye contact, and just see how things around you, see how the world starts reacting differently to you when you just show up with a little bit more of that confidence and make yourself look good, right? Like, just do that. Second tip is kind of the flirting with life. And so going around, you don't have to like smile and engage with and flirt with and talk with everything and everyone. Like, wouldn't recommend that. Would be a lot of fun, probably, David. I gotta say, might be really, really enjoyable. But go out and just have the goal, set the intention of, oh, I'm going to smile at one person, or I'm going to start a conversation with one person, or maybe I'm even going to flirt with one person. And so just start establishing a new habit or new trend for yourself that you can do this. If you've had a lot of anxiety or nerves before, just start showing yourself the way forward, just little bits, little small steps at a time. Or maybe you're like, well, this is really easy. I'm already doing this. I'm already going out. I'm looking good. I'm feeling good. I'm smiling. I'm flirting. Okay, well, then start to change up your strategies a little bit. Some of your flirt tactics. How are you starting it? Are you doing it with that observation like you did in the bar? Are you starting with maybe a very simple introduction, just saying your name, and it could be a, how are you? Like, that's a fine way just to get the conversation going and see how someone else is going to receive that. And are they going to start to engage back with you? Maybe you bring in some humor. Do you have like a joke or something funny, or did something weird or strange that's happening around you? So maybe you start it in that way. Just start to play with how you initiate and start the flirts, and then let the flirt be a teacher and see what feels good, see what feels really natural to you, see what's getting the best reactions and leading to the best conversations and flirts, and then allow yourself to just be in the moment with it and see where it goes, coming in with it without that expectation that it has to be this one thing, lead to this one thing, or somehow it was bad or it was a failure or something like that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes. Very
do that.
doable, clean, clear, and actionable things we can go and do every day in our lives to create more connection, more flirting.
Yeah, I feel like that's what it's what it's all about. Like, it's really important. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Benjamin. Thank you so much for this wisdom, and also showing how much flirting, as much as it kind of seems this surface level thing to do, there's so much depth to flirting. There's so much, as you touched upon, there's so much more to it than just like saying the right thing, looking the right way, smiling the right way. There's all these tentacles that go kind of deep into who we are and why it's so important. I know I'm singing to the choir here, like actually leaning into the personal work that's beyond just trying to say the right things. So just thank you so much for like showing us the depth of flirting.
And I'll say one last quick thing is, we've really been, and a lot of my work focuses on so it's kind of those flirts with someone that you don't know, or you're looking to go start a conversation with someone, or maybe you are on the apps getting a conversation going, or you're very early, perhaps in the dating process as 1 or 2 dates. I feel like that's a lot of the conversations I have around flirting are for these situations and interactions. But the flirt is going to carry you through. I mean, you got to flirt first. That always comes first. But then the flirt will carry you through early dating, and then perhaps establishing a relationship, and then certainly carry you through the relationship as well. It's always going to be present. Like, it's so important for every milestone in romantic relationships, and really, I feel like all your relationships. But a lot of the flirt principles we've talked about today will be, I think, applicable for dating, no matter where you are in dating or in a relationship, because it's about connection. Yes, we've been talking a lot about that, but vulnerability, it's about allowing yourself to be seen, seeing somebody else. There's that playfulness, that curiosity, asking questions, listening, and developing that intimacy, which certainly if you're dating and in a relationship, the intimacy, emotional intimacy specifically here is, I mean, it might be the most important thing. Right?
Yeah.
So use the flirt. Let it be present at all parts of dating and your relationships, of course.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
I love that, man. Thank you. Thank you so much, Benjamin.
Yeah.
Listeners,
thanks for having me on the show today.
Yeah, and listeners, I imagine you've enjoyed this episode. Benjamin, where can people find you, learn more about you, work with you?
Sure. Benjamin Camras on all the socials, going by the Flirt Coach on there. You'll see me posting about flirting, of course, dating and relationships, my podcast Flirtations. You can stream pretty much anywhere, many episodes available to watch on YouTube. And then if you're into some yoga, I teach locally here in the Triangle area of North Carolina. There's also a few flirt yoga videos on YouTube, some meditations up there. If you're looking for more kind of like mindfulness practices, we can do a little bit of that together as well. And then available for one-on-ones. Link in bio, Dave.
Link will be in the bio.
Yeah, link in bio.
All the details you're looking for, people, will be down in the description, in the comment section, depending where you're listening to this. And again, I'll say big thank you to listeners for listening to this, to learn about flirting, and you realize that it's much deeper than just what you say. And if you haven't heard that through this, please listen back to this episode to learn the depth and breadth of flirting. And I'll just say a final big thank you to Benjamin for being here, and ciao to everybody.